and then we'll start.
Yeah. And how many myths are there that are related, which we are so unaware of. So first of all, I'll introduce our nutritionist, our coach, Simar, Deep, and Nathan. Simar and Deep are the founders of Glamour and Purpose, and they help people with all kinds of nutrition, any guidance in losing weight, and any sort of issue if you have with body. They both help a lot. They both are sisters, and Nathan and Simar are husband and wife. And Nathan is a coach, a health coach, and it's amazing that I have known them for about over 3 months now. And in 3 months, I can see a lot of difference that has been made, especially when it comes to a lot of myth busters. In the past, I was very something like I would gain my weight, say 2 kgs, 3 kgs, and I'll go back to doing my keto diet, and then losing that for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I'll do the keto, put it down again, and then eat again, all that nonsense what I have to eat, like pizzas or pastries or whatever. So because I knew I had an easy way out, I could do a keto diet and come back down, but I didn't realize how it was affecting my body. Not exercising, not having muscle mass, and it was just a trap, a cycle that I was into. And when I got to know Simar, Deep, and Nathan, they actually changed my whole mindset. I in 3 months, and not only that, I think when it came to even nutrition, like I didn't know how much my body was. Nutrition was there, because I was just thinking, okay, I'm having my green juice and I'm done with it, or I'm having my salad bowl and I'm done with it. But little did I understand that not everything we take gives us enough of minerals and vitamins in our body, because there are so many minerals or vitamins that are missing in our body, which our body cannot produce on its own. I'll let Simmer and Nathan talk about it further, and also how each body organ plays a huge part, in our lives. We only think about our stomach or our gut or our heart, but we don't know about the liver and other functions that are related. It's like a whole family. So you have to look and care for every part of your body, and you will trust me. After taking their this body love program, I had taken Simmer's body love program. So it's all about body, mind, and spirit. And today, if I have to put anything into my mouth, it's not like I think twice. No, I don't think twice about it. It's just that I'm more conscious about it. And in these 3 months, I have not how I would go, okay, eat anything and then lose back. It was nothing. It's nothing like that. I still enjoy a slice of pizza if I want to with my kids during a weekend. I eat well, and I take my nutrition and minerals well. I don't feel lethargic and sleepy at all. I had the certain spots on my face, which I wondered why they appeared, but I realized I had lots of toxicity in my body, in my liver rather. And I took a certain natural vitamin, which they supported my body, and my skin became better and vibrant after that. So there's a lot of things we don't know and we are not aware of. So I feel that I want to pass this knowledge to you all who are here. And it's amazing that you all are here, because you will get the same knowledge what I got. So today I introduced Simar, Deep, and Nathan to come and speak and talk about all these myth busters, like, how anything, and then after that, we'll have a question answer session where you can ask anything about fasting, intermittent fasting, about diet, about how you feel with your body, and if there's any changes you can make. They are available there, guys. So today is the time you can ask all your questions. So without further ado, I introduce Nathan and Simmer, and I'll ask them to take over and speak further. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bhavna. So you guys can see my screen, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I think the first thing I want to do is just acknowledge you, Bhavna, for the breakthrough and real passion that you've had for taking on your health. And now you're doing cooking classes and doing Instagram lives and learning about liver, and just I can see the passion that you have for not only getting healthy yourself, but also really sharing that knowledge. And so it's really inspiring to see how in such a short period of time you've really taken this on. So thank you for the introduction. And it's just it's very inspiring to see you taking on your health. So let me just see who we have. So just want to welcome Sony, and is it Yogita? Payal. Payal, Ravina, Jack, Liana.
Hi.
Hi, Sony. Good to see you again.
Hello. Yeah, same here.
Dan, welcome, Yogesh. Okay, so if we have anybody else that jumps on, that's okay. Whoever's iPhone 11, if you could type your name in the chat, if that works, it would make a difference just to know who you are. So today's session, we're gonna try to be as interactive as possible. Okay, so there's going to be a couple of myths that we're going to be going over, and we'd love to know sort of what you guys think the answers to the questions are, and then we'll go over some pretty common myths that people have about health and nutrition in general. Okay, so we won't tell you whether it's true or false in the beginning, but we'll sort of just go over them. Okay, so the main focus today is really about why nutrition matters. Okay, I think everybody intuitively knows that nutrition is important, that nutrition matters. But I think with the world that we're living in today, with the COVID situation and everything that's gone on, people are really starting to wake up more and more about the importance of nutrition and really why it matters. And I think that's amazing. I mean, our immune system is so important for our overall health and protecting us in this time that we're dealing with. But the reality is that even before the COVID situation, we were dealing with a pretty significant health crisis. A lot of, diabetes is an epidemic like we've never seen as a human community, and it's affecting each country equally globally. So that's been a global epidemic that we've been dealing with, that a lot of people haven't been talking about. So my hope is that this time people start waking up to the importance of nutrition more, and we can use that as a catalyst to really inspire more and more people to take their nutrition seriously. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is what we're going to learn today. Okay, so we're going to go over some myth-busting exercises and check facts about nutrition in general, and then we're going to touch on what we call the nutrition gap. Okay, and the nutrition gap is the gap between what you need in order to protect your body, and then what you're getting from the food that you're consuming. It creates a nutritional gap, and that's where disease can happen. And our goal is to really close that gap. And then I'll just give you guys some easy solutions for living a happy, healthy, and vibrant life. And then we'll give you guys an opportunity at the end to ask any questions that you might have about what you learned today, or just about any questions that you have about nutrition in general. Okay, so as we go along, if you guys have any questions, feel free to jump in and ask, or you can put your questions in the chat box. Either one of those options is fine. Okay, we want to keep this as open and interactive as possible. Okay, so our first myth-busting exercise, Simmer is going to walk us through the first myth.
All right. Hi, guys. This is Simar. So we're going to start with this myth that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Now, just like Nathan said, we're going to have this session be interactive. Okay. So what do you guys think? Just put it in the chat box. I'll be looking at the chat box as we go through it and see what everyone thinks. And then we'll go on to the next slide. Nathan, can you keep the screen full screen? So, okay, thank you. All right, so Liana said true. Anybody else? What do you think? Is breakfast the most important meal of the day? Bhavna said false. Rekha said true. Gina said agreed. And Daniel said false, okay. Anyone else? Okay, iPhone 11, by the way, because since we were wondering, that's Namita.
I feel it's not so important, the breakfast.
Okay. Okay, awesome. I can't see who was talking.
Ravina.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, this when the screen is full screen, we can't actually see, like when someone talks, the photo doesn't come up. So you might, if you do jump in to
Can you, yeah, sorry. Can you see me now?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Because I'm in a supermarket and it's quite crowded, I need to put my mask, yeah?
No problem.
All good. Okay, great. So let's get into it then. Should we see what the answer is?
The big reveal.
Big reveal. Yes, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And I'll tell you why. Because studies have linked breakfast to academic performance, to memory, healthy weight, mood, and more. And what's really important about breakfast is to get protein, complex carbs, healthy fats, and whole grains with healthy fiber, because they provide a good foundation for the day and they can keep you full for longer. Okay. And the main goal here is to stabilize the blood sugar first thing in the morning, because it sets the tone for the day. And you learn more about the blood sugar roller coaster as we go through the myths. And but it's why breakfast is the most important meal is that because the way that you start your day is the way that you're going to end it. So at the beginning of the day, if you eat something that's high glycemic, high in sugar, that anything that's high glycemic is basically foods that you eat that convert to sugar really quickly in your body. So anything like that's gonna have bread, jam, the usual breakfast, the sugary cereals, bread. All of these things, bread, they convert to sugar so fast that if you start your day with that, it's gonna take you into the blood sugar roller coaster. And what happens with that is that when you start your day that way, a lot of people, the whole day they will have these crazy cravings for sugar, for this, for that, and they're like, oh my god, I'm just so bad, like I have no self-control, I need more willpower. And they'll see other people that don't have cravings and they think that, wow, this person just has amazing willpower. But willpower has almost nothing to do with your cravings, because the way that whatever it is that you eat is going to actually determine whether you have cravings of different foods, right? So yes, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. However, whatever you eat first thing in the morning is going to really impact what you're going to want to eat later on in the day. Okay, so in that sense, it's very important.
And for the people that thought that it wasn't, we can go over that in the question and answer session and figure out why they thought that and go a little bit deeper.
Yeah, totally. Like if you guys still think, as we're going through the myths, if you have like questions that pop up and you're like, no, that doesn't really make sense, or anything like that, we're going to do that in the Q&A session, and you are more than welcome to just, you know, ask away whatever comes up.
And I'll share a little bit later why, because I've done intermittent fasting, which means I don't eat breakfast, and I've done that for, you know, almost 3 years. But I still think breakfast is the most important meal of the day, so we can talk about why that is.
Okay, so the second myth is carbs make you fat. True or false? So I'll be looking at your in the chat box.
Oh,
Evil.
true.
True. Yogita said false. Rekha said false. Liana said true. Jack, false. Okay. Namita said true. Daniel said question mark. Okay. Bhavna said false. Yeah. Anybody else?
That's really split, huh?
It's almost 50-50, right?
This is probably one of the most controversial. You hear people talk about this all the time. So Dan, your question mark is perfect.
Okay, should we do the big reveal? False. Carbs do not make you fat. Not all carbs do. So carbs, just like protein and fats, are really, really important for our body. Okay, there's a reason that they exist. Anytime you're thinking about putting on fat, you just want to think like anytime you're overeating any particular food, it is going to make you put on weight. It doesn't matter what food group that is, right? And when it comes to carbs, there are certain functions that of our central nervous system that cannot happen without carbs. So it's really important to have carbs, but it does matter what kind, and we're going to talk about that. Another reason why carbs are so important is that they spare protein, so it can be used for building and maintaining muscle mass. Now, what does that mean? That means that if you don't, like when you're having carbs, your body would always prefer carbs to make energy, okay? We eat food because we need energy, right? And our body's preferred food for energy is carbs. So if you are eating a diet that is really low on carbs, then what's going to happen is your body is going to use the protein instead to make energy. So instead of using the protein, so your body needs protein to build muscle mass, maintain muscle mass, which is so important for our health, right? But if you don't have enough carbs that are needed for energy, then you're, instead of using the protein for your muscle mass and to maintain that muscle mass, what your body is going to do is then it's going to go into a chemical reaction where it's going to convert protein into glucose. So the amino acids will go through a reaction where they'll get converted to glucose, and you will be using protein for energy, which is not a good source of energy. And it's not good for your muscle mass. It's not good for anything. So carbs actually spare protein. Now, just like I said, it matters what kind of carbs you're having. So it's important to have complex carbs. Okay, complex carbs are low glycemic. They are high in fiber. Your whole grains are complex carbs, right? Instead of simple carbs. Now, simple carbs would be anything that converts to sugar really quickly. So your bread, pizzas, pastas, white rice. What else can you think about, Nathan? Jams, all the sugary stuff, all the cakes, muffins. I mean, people start
Snack on all day long. Basically, snacks, generally speaking, are pure carbohydrates, because we'll go over the blood sugar roller coaster later. But generally, the snacks are designed when you have these big cravings. You just put them in your mouth, and they spike your blood sugar again. So almost anything that we snack on during the day is a simple carbohydrate.
Yeah. So all of those are simple carbs. Complex carbs would be foods like, well, your red rice, Your vegetables are great. They are high in fiber, right? Your whole grains are complex carbs. Or anything that's gonna give you that any kind of carb that is high in fiber is good.
Yeah, sweet
Any
potato,
carb that's what's
kumras.
that?
Yeah, sweet potatoes, kumras, things like that. Vegetables are carbohydrates. So I think one of the thing is people villainize carbs because they think of simple carbohydrates, but they don't realize that vegetables are carbohydrates. Like you need, you need those kinds of carbohydrates.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go into the next slide, Nathan. So here is the blood sugar roller coaster. If you see this diagram right here, you can see that what happens is if you are at baseline right at the start of the graph, right? Eating simple carbs like nasi goreng, like in Indonesia, nasi goreng is so popular, right? People just love that. And a lot of times people start their day with that or with bread jam or cereals, right? Those are like the basic breakfasts that people do eat. In New Zealand, they used to have those mac muffins. Like I used to teach in an early childhood center. I'm an early childhood teacher, and kids would walk in with like a muffin, a chocolate muffin or a mac muffin. All those foods, they're all simple carbs, all right? And what happens is when you right at the start, if you see this is the baseline where both of the red and green line are starting, when you eat simple carbs, your blood sugar just skyrockets right to the top. Okay, and then on the top you can see insulin, right? So insulin, your body, when your blood sugar goes up like that, your body has to create insulin to bring it down because it's not safe for your body to have that much blood sugar going around. So it needs to create that insulin to bring it back down. Okay, so your body creates insulin to bring down the blood sugar. But what happens is usually with that insulin, it brings down the blood sugar too much, lower than what your baseline needs to be. Okay, and then this is when you have the blood sugar crash because you feel cranky, you feel tired. This is when the cravings happen. Just like I said, if you start your day like that, you cannot have willpower. Your brain will just drive you crazy because you'll be like, you are at a low blood sugar, which is why you're going to be like, I need something, I need it now. I need something sweet. So you totally start to lose focus, you get cranky, you crave more sugar to just get back to baseline. But usually the foods that we choose at that point, because we're already past the point where we can make a decision, and it's already like you're already feeling crazed by this craving. So usually we would go for foods that are, again, high glycemic, okay? So you eat a cake or a cookie or something, and then what happens again? Your blood sugar spikes up again, goes to the top, insulin is created, which brings it down too much. And then the whole cycle just keeps going on and on and on. That's your blood sugar roller coaster, okay? So to stop that, simple way is to just start your day right. So start your day with complex carbs. So oatmeal's really great. You could make an oatmeal smoothie. Proteins, so you want to have complex carbs, you want to have proteins, you want to have fats. You want to have all three at the start of your day because they all complex carbs, proteins, fats. It takes your body to break them down. It takes your body time. So because it takes time, they sort of give you that sustained, the green line in the middle of the graph that you see, that's what you get when you're eating right. And when you eat right at the start of the day, you get that stable blood sugar level. And then you don't have those cravings. So then when it's time for your next meal, you're sitting there thinking, okay, what do I want to eat today? Instead of going like, I need to eat something sweet right now, or I need to eat something, whatever it is that you crave. So really important. And this has happened to me as well. Like I went to this party, and all of the food was a bit unhealthy. So I was like, I'll go with the rice, And I had this, in Indonesia, you have those wrapped green leaf things with the rice and a little bit of chicken in the middle. I was like, okay, there wasn't much chicken in there. So I just had that sticky rice thing. And within like half an hour of eating that, I was sleepy. I was confused. I was like, oh my God, like I really need to eat something. Why am I so hungry suddenly? And I was like, went back looking for something. And, the next day I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, the first mistake was just eating that rice. Because if I hadn't eaten that, I wouldn't have gone on to just eat all kinds of junk food. So really important. It has nothing to do with your willpower. It has everything to do with what you're eating. And when it comes to carbs, they are so important for our body. And especially for women, like they are actually important because they do help with some of the hormonal processes as well. So you don't want to completely cut out a food group. And just like Nathan said, vegetables are carbs. You want to have your vegetables. Okay, they're so important. So yeah, that's that myth.
And I think you mentioned a couple of times about the glycemic index. And I think at the end we'll mention the Body Love program, but obviously we don't want to give too much information all at once, right? So if you don't really understand the glycemic index and you want to learn sort of how to eat this way, the simple way, the Body Love program that you guys do is a good introduction to how to eat this way.
Yeah. Okay, so this is another one. This is something that, crash diets are safe for me to try. Like, if you hear about a new diet that everyone's trying out, most people would think that, oh, well, I could try it out. There's nothing wrong. If it doesn't work, then, whatever. And there's so I want to ask you, how many of you think that that's okay? Like if there's a diet that's out there, that it's safe for you to just try it out. True or false?
True.
I said true. Yeah. Bhavna said false. Liana said false. Yogita said false. Okay. Rekha said, I wouldn't want to try. Okay. Daniel said false if women. Okay. And Namita said false. Anybody else? Okay. So big reveal? False. Yeah, false. Definitely false. Here's why. So crash dieting can actually cause various nutritional deficiencies. Like we, just like Nathan was saying, we do run a Body Love program, which is for people to learn how to eat right. This is a program where we actually educate people about nutrition. And so many times I've had people, women, like this one woman who came and who I was doing an intake call for. And she said that she had tried this, she did this whole dieting program and like lost 10 kgs a year ago, a year before that she talked to me. She had lost like 10 kgs and she was happy with the results, except that right after that, she developed severe anxiety and was put on antidepressants and had been on antidepressants since then for a whole year. And this is why, like, this is why in our programs, we never ever do anything that's going to be so drastic, or we really don't believe in dieting at all, because you really want to be careful, because there are all these diets out there that people will put their testimonials. They'll be like, oh my God, this is amazing. I lost like 10 kgs. I lost this, I lost that. And we think that, oh, this person tried it. It worked for them, so it might work for me. But that's not true. Everyone's body is different. Your metabolism is going to be different from another person's metabolism. Women's bodies are so different from men's bodies. So you don't want to try some diet out there just as an experiment, because some of these diets can be really dangerous. You know, they can cause nutritional deficiencies. They can also cause other problems like thyroid problems. And when these issues happen, they don't just go away like that. You know, one of my cousins tried this crazy diet and developed this uric acid problem, which it's been over 20 years now. He still deals with that, you know, and he doesn't want to try anything else. I tried talking to him about, you know, that I can teach him how to eat healthy. He's like, that's it. I was done with that. I am never doing anything else. I'm just listening to my doctor, you know? So it's like these things, it might seem pretty safe, like you can experiment with different diets. I heard about a diet that's like banana and milk diet for a week. It's horrible. It's supposed to help you lose weight. It's like the worst thing I've ever heard of, you know? So all of these diets, they might seem pretty, you know, simple and that you can just experiment with them, but they can cause pretty significant, you know, impact on your body. And you don't want to try that. Anytime you're wondering whether to try a diet or something, always go with the natural way. Go with eating healthy food. Like if you really want to try a diet, do something for yourself, like making sure you learn about nutrition and you learn about how to eat healthily, how to have all the different macronutrients, all the different nutrients in your diet, so that at the end of that, you're not compromising your hormonal system, you're not compromising your health. You know, it's really not worth it. If you were to, excuse me, if you can like lose 2-3 kgs but end up having some other issue, it's really not worth it. You know, those 2-3 kgs are not going to be that bad if having them is going to save you from this some other crazy problem, right? So really important to have a balanced diet. Have healthy food, have carbs, have protein, have fats, keep it all in good proportion and keep it balanced, okay? Really important to eat that way. Because when you're eating healthy food, this is, it's ultimately gonna really help you with your health. And not just with losing weight, it helps you with lose weight, but it's also gonna help you get really healthy, which is what you ultimately want. You wanna lose weight, you wanna feel good in your body, you wanna feel healthy in your body, right? You want to have lots of energy. That happens when you're having good food. Okay. So Nathan's going to take you guys through this part of the myth section, and we'll continue.
Okay, so this is one of the ones that we get the most, right? You can get all of your nutrients from your food as long as you eat healthy. True or false? Share in the comment section. And Simmer, there was a couple of comments that were coming in your last, the last thing that you were talking about.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Ravina said that she needs to leave. Okay. So now we're getting the reply for this one. So Yogita said false. Liana as a question mark. Namita said true. Rekha said nope. And Bhavna said false.
Okay. Okay.
And Sony, we have more coming in.
Okay.
We got Sony who said false and Gina said false.
Wow.
Okay, let's have a look.
Great. Well, that's amazing. I mean, generally we get more people that say yes. So the answer to the question is no. Okay, so we're going to go over. So the answer to the question is false. You can't get all of your nutrients from your food alone as long as you eat healthy. And we're going to go into a little bit of a deeper dive in terms of why that is. So we're going to go over a few facts about today's reality, about the environment that we live in, and lots of other things that have changed things dramatically. Okay, we don't live in the world that our grandparents used to live in, unfortunately. You know, there was a day and time where you could get all of the nutrients that you needed from the food alone, you know, just sort of eating off of the land around you, you know. When we were more in agricultural times and we had more connection to our environment, it was probably a little bit easier. But in today's world, even if you eat, you know, organic, super healthy foods, you're not going to get all the nutrients that your body needs in order to fight off disease. So unfortunately today, right, aside from the coronavirus situation, the leading causes of death globally are all what they call degenerative diseases. And a degenerative disease is not an infectious disease like the coronavirus. So the coronavirus is a virus, right? It's an infectious disease. Whereas a degenerative disease is primarily lifestyle driven. Okay, it's something that you develop over time because of your lifestyles. Okay, most of these diseases, a lot of times people think, for example, diabetes is genetic, right? It's hereditary, it runs in the family. And this is also a myth that we didn't talk about. But all of these main diseases, maximum, 40% is going to be genetic. The rest of it is going to come from your lifestyle, which means our lifestyle creates the problem. And the good news there is that our lifestyle can also prevent or reverse the problem. We just have to be clear about what's going on. So if you look at heart disease, 17 million, cancer, almost 8 million, stroke, 6 million, respiratory diseases in the lungs, 4 million, and diabetes is 1.2 million at the moment, but these numbers are exploding. And the problem with diabetes is they call it the mother of all diseases, which means if you have diabetes, you're 10 times more likely to be you're at risk for the other degenerative diseases. So this is an area where, we really have to work on the nutrition, because all of these diseases are preventable. Okay, you might have a predisposition to some of these diseases, which means, there is a gene that sort of runs in the family that makes you a little bit more predisposed. But what passes on from hereditary is actually the eating habits, the lifestyle. So these are the things that we're passing on. So we need to look at what causes them. So some of the main issues that make the amount of nutrition that we need much higher are environmental issues, right? Things like pollution, stress, radiation. After living in Indonesia for 5 years, it was incredible to see how many people had like 2, 3, 4 cell phones. It's like just surrounded by radiation all of the time. And the environment that we live in, really, we're surrounded by Wi-Fi, 5G, different radiations all the time. And then the effects of secondhand smoke and different toxins in the air, and also in the water, in the ground, all of these things. Our environment is very, very sick. And if our environment has a lot of toxins and pollutants in it, though, our body has to contend with those, which means we need more nutrition in order to protect our body. Okay, our grandparents, a couple generations ago, they didn't have the environmental toxins that we have to deal with, and therefore the amount of nutrition that they needed was significantly lower. The more pollutants and toxins that are around us, the more our body needs antioxidants to deal with the oxidative stress that happens because of our environment. So oxidative stress is like rust. If you see, like in your car, right? That rust is when the oxygen starts eating away at the metal. Okay, that same thing happens when we have environmental toxins. Is it creates an oxidative response inside of our body, and it drives aging. So all of these things also drive aging as well. So one of the best, the best, not one of the best, the best anti-aging solution that you can have is actually nutrition, right? Beauty starts from the inside out. So this is a great example. So everybody's seen apples, right? So if you cut an apple in half, the thing that happens immediately is it will start turning brown. This is the oxidative process. As oxygen hits those cells, they begin to degenerate and they begin to brown, which means they begin to start dying. And if you had the same apple, right, you cut it in half, and you can see on the right-hand side of this apple here, they put like lemon juice, lime juice, things that have antioxidants. Okay, you can see it protects that side of the apple. The other side of the apple, which has no antioxidant on it, will immediately start to brown. Okay, sometimes if you like guacamole, you've seen the difference there, right? The reason why you put lemon juice or lime juice in guacamole is because it prevents that browning process. It prevents the aging of the guacamole, aside from also making it more delicious. It slows down the oxidation process. So let's bring it into the human cells. So on the left-hand side here, you see a healthy human cell in the cell culture underneath the microscope. Okay, this is what a healthy human cell looks like on the left-hand side there. Beautiful, healthy cell. Now the cell in the middle, same cell, okay, except for right after they've eaten some sort of fast food meal. Okay, so nasi goreng, anything fried, simple carbohydrates, anything that is like you just grab it quickly and eat, it will break down the integrity of the cell super fast. Okay, so there is literally an immediate negative impact chemically in your body when you eat food that is unhealthy, things that have trans fats. They break down the cell very, very quickly. Okay, so within 20 minutes, it went from what's on the left to the cell in the middle. Okay, and now on the right-hand side, you have the same cell when you add some sort of oxidation defense mechanism. Okay, so antioxidants, things like that, right? So like the lime juice that we put on the apple. Okay, this blood sample was actually taken live on stage at one of our conventions. We actually had one of our scientists who they took his blood, they put it under the microscope. He ate a fast food meal from McDonald's, like the things that your kids eat. What are those things? The Happy Meal. He ate some of the Happy Meal, and within 20 minutes, his blood changed. And then he took our health pack, which is a sort of an assortment of some health products. And within 20 minutes, you could see the cell starting to regenerate itself and starting to protect itself from the oxidative damage. So that just goes to show you, food can either hurt you or it can help you and protect you, right? Food is neutral. You know, it can do both, good and bad. It just depends on what you put in your body. So that's why everything that you eat, right? All of the food that you consume, it's doing one of two things. It's either fighting disease or it's feeding disease. It's either slowing down oxidation or it's accelerating the oxidation that happens in your body. This is actually the problem Simmer was saying earlier about carbohydrates. The problem with simple carbohydrates is that they accelerate the oxidative process. They turn into sugar very, very quickly into your body. And sugar is actually what makes you fat. Carbs don't make you fat. Sugar is what spikes insulin and makes you fat. Insulin is a fat storage hormone. So if insulin is high, the signal to the brain is you need to hold on to fat. When you reduce insulin by stabilizing your blood sugar, you reduce that. The message to the brain is it's okay to release the weight now. Stabilize the blood sugar and you'll be happy. So we want to make sure that what we're putting in our body is fighting disease, not feeding it, okay? And a lot of people have heard this, okay? You are what you eat, okay? And it's a little bit funny, right? But it's actually true. So the cells, you have about 10 trillion cells or so. Like your body, you know, you see it, your body, your hair, your skin, everything is made up of little microscopic organisms, cells. And these cells are made up of what you consume. Okay, water, air, food, right? What we eat and what we consume goes in and physically makes up our cells. So your body is literally made up of what you eat. So if you start changing your diet today, the body that you have in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and so on, will be made of these new foods, which is why crash diets don't work, right? Because it's a short-term solution to a long-term problem. So your body is made up of what you eat. So do you want your body to be made up of burgers and pizza and beer and cakes, right? Or you want your body to be made up of these beautiful nutrients that feed your cell and give you energy and vitality? Okay, so we mentioned earlier the nutrition gap as well. Okay, so now we're going to get a little bit deeper into why our food isn't giving us what we need. Okay, one of the main problems that not a lot of people know about is actually the loss of nutrients in the soil. So on the top right-hand corner there, you can see the soil in the 1900s full of minerals. Okay, and now you can see the soil that's next to it. Because of our farming practices, we're constantly taking minerals out of the soil and just constantly we're just constantly taking food and constantly tilling the soil without allowing the soil to naturally replenish. And the impact of that is every time we do that, we're removing the minerals without allowing the soil to regenerate. And now you can see North America there, 85% of the minerals that used to be in the soil are gone. In Asia, 76, it's actually closer to 80 now. Basically 80% of the minerals that are in the soil are gone. Okay, and the main problem with that is you can't just inject the minerals back into the soil, right? We used to rotate crops, which means we'd plant the crops, we'd harvest them, then we'd move, then we'd plant the crops, we'd harvest them, we'd move, and this moving, the rotation of the crops would allow the soil to regenerate. We don't do that anymore because we're trying to mass produce food all of the time. And so that the mineral depletion in the soil is just gone. And if the minerals aren't in the food, then if the minerals aren't in the soil, then they're not in the food. And if they're not in the food, then they're not in the body. Okay, and your vitamins need minerals to work. Okay, they work synergistically. So even if your food is full of rich antioxidants, right? See, even say you're eating lots of fruits and vegetables that are full of beautiful antioxidants, right? If they look the same, if they grow in soil where there's no minerals, then your body can't actually utilize those vitamins. So that's one of the big ones, is soil depletion. And then we also have massive use of pesticides. Okay, the more pesticides that are in your body, the more nutrition that your body's going to need, because it's accelerating the oxidation process. Loss of quality in shipping. Okay, you know, if as much as you can, eat organically, eat from farmers that are close to you. You know, we really recommend as much as possible that people just eat what's in season, you know, as close to you. If you're eating bananas, for just as one example, okay, a lot of times what happens is, because they're mass producing these bananas, they inject them with growth hormones. So you have these giant bananas that grow really quickly, and then they take them off the vine early. So they're green bananas, they're not ripe yet. And then they just spray them with something that makes the banana turn green. And then you buy it at the grocery store. And that's when you get these like super hard bananas that come with the core on the outside is like hard. This is basically an unripened banana that's been sprayed and you're eating it, which means the nutrients are not in there because it hasn't matured. And then you have genetic modification of foods, which is a huge topic. We won't get into that, but the use of medication. Okay, in the U.S., the average of people over 60 is between 10 and 15 different medications. Okay, somebody gets an issue and then they take medication, which creates side effects, and then they take more medication, and then the side effects, and then more medication. And pretty soon, people are on blood pressure medications, cholesterol medications, sleeping pills, blood thinners. They're on all these medications and that are causing symptoms that require more medication because they're only dealing with the symptoms. They're not dealing with the root causes. One of the things that we're passionate about doing is getting people off of blood pressure medications, cholesterol medications, blood thinning medications. Okay. You can use nutrition, which heals the issue, instead of taking all this medication that just deals with the symptoms. And then you have to be on those medications for your whole life. So the recommended daily intake, the RDI, has gone up more than twice since I was a kid. When I was a kid, it was five fruits and vegetables a day can help prevent the main nutritional deficiencies. Now we're up to like 8 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, just to get your minimum amount of nutrition that you need to fight deficiencies like rickets, scurvy, right? These diseases that come when you don't get enough nutrients. Okay, well, that's not even optimal levels of nutrition where you are feeling, vibrant and you have lots of energy and your skin looks nice and all of that, right? That requires even more nutrition. Okay, and I try to eat as good as I can every single day, but there's no way I'm getting 8 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables from the food alone. Okay, so this is where the gap comes in. You need 8 to 13 a day, and most people are getting 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that gap is where the disease shows up. And if you compound that every day, it's not just one day, it's, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then it's a week, and then it's a month. If you have that gap every single day, it's compounding. And this is where disease shows up. Almost all disease, at the root cause of them, is some sort of mineral deficiency. Here's just one example, right? 1 cup of spinach in the 1900s. Today, you'd have to eat over 74 cups of spinach to get the same amount of nutrients that your grandparents got in 1 cup. Okay, we have to eat radically more amounts of food just to get the same amount of nutrition. So how do we make sure that we get all the nutrition that we need? So easy things that you can do is try to eat a diet full of whole foods. Okay, whole foods, we mean the actual food itself. Okay, you're eating things that come from the earth. Okay, I've been always told that food is meant to be an ingredient, right, in the meals that you're eating, not have ingredients. Okay, the more foods that we eat that come in packages, cans, think food that has ingredients, which means they're mass produced. These are processed foods, and they cause a lot of issues. So you want to be eating things that come from trees and bushes, and they're grown naturally from the earth. Other things that are important are regular exercise. Okay, your body can produce a lot of its own nutrients inside, and your hormones can be balanced by doing things like breathing exercises, meditation, yoga. Regular exercise helps your body produce different chemicals that can help you be happy and have less cravings, things like that. Surround yourself with positive people. Okay, so people who speak to you in a nice way. Also, you speak to yourself in a nice way. These are all things on the Body Love program that we look at comprehensively, is how to set up your environment to pull for you being the most healthy and the most healthy person that you can be. And then avoiding things like poisons, toxins as much as possible. Okay, this one is really difficult actually in the world that we live in, because we're inundated by toxins. We can actually send a link to Bhavna, but Dr. Myron Wentz, who's the founder of the nutrition company that we work with, he wrote a book called The Healthy Home. And in that book, it's kind of scary. He goes through all of the things that are in our bathrooms, in our kitchens, in our living spaces, that are where all of these toxins are hidden that we don't know about. And they cause a lot of issues in our body as well. So there's a lot of environmental toxins just in your home that you don't know about. And then the last thing is taking some high quality nutritional supplements can help you on that path as well. Okay, so when it comes to the supplement side of things, we recommend a company called USANA Health Sciences. Okay, and the reason why we do that, so there's multiple reasons for that, okay? Supplements are not designed to be a substitute for anything, okay? So that's the first thing to know right off the bat. Even in our Body Love program, the focus is on holistic approaches to health and well-being, starting with the way that you talk to yourself, the food that you consume, and then obviously having supplements can help fill in the gaps that we were talking about earlier. The main reason why we use USANA is because of the quality of the actual product itself. So if you go to the grocery store or you go to the pharmacy and you buy products off the shelf, they're going to be made to a food grade, which means there's no regulation. So the supplement industry, a lot of people don't know this, but the supplement industry is not regulated, which means these companies can literally put whatever they want in the product itself. So a food grade supplement legally only requires that it has 20% of what's on the label itself is actually in the product. Okay, so if it's got 100 grams of vitamin C on the label, it only needs 20 in order to be legal. Okay, that's a little bit scary. And then they're not even monitoring that either. Okay, so some of you guys might know GNC, just as an example. Okay, they've been caught 3 times in the US, 2015, 2017, 2019. They've been caught 3 times with not even meeting the minimum requirement for the nutrition in their products that's on the label. Okay, and this is the biggest nutritional company in the world. So if you're taking a food grade over the counter supplement, you're gambling with what's actually in the product. USANA is made to a medical or a pharmaceutical grade, which means exactly what's on the label is 100% guaranteed to be in the actual product itself. So if it says 100 milligrams of vitamin C, you're getting 100 milligrams of vitamin C in every single tablet that's in that product. Okay, so what you pay for what you get, essentially. They don't have any binding agents, no fillers, things like that, right? With very, very low quality nutrition, a lot of times you'll get an upset stomach when you eat it. Okay, and usually that's because the fillers and the binding agents that are in the product itself have things like crude oil, petroleum. There are things in there that make your stomach upset. Okay, if you have a really, really high quality nutritional supplement like USANA, you still want to take it with food because that helps your body absorb it better, but it's not going to make you physically ill or like feel like you have to vomit just by taking the supplement, because there's nothing but pure nutrition in the supplement itself. There's no fillers. We also have over 4,000. This is now 4,000 Olympic and elite level athletes that are brand ambassadors for USANA. We don't pay them anything. They choose to work with us because they want the quality of our product, and we offer a $1 million athlete guarantee. This is one of the big things that drew me to USANA in the beginning. I know athletes are, their body is their business, and they're incredibly strict about what they consume. And right now, USANA has more professional and Olympic level athletes that partner with us as brand ambassadors than any other supplement company in the world. So if athletes trust it, I trust it. The other thing that's really important is that we have all kinds of certifications for USANA. Most companies don't have any. So our manufacturing facility in America is registered with the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration in the US. Okay. As far as I know, we're the only nutrition company that has a manufacturing facility that's registered as a drug establishment in the US. We're in the MIMS. So in Asia, you guys might know the MIMS. That's the book that your doctor uses to look up medication. So you come in, you have certain symptoms, they look up your symptoms, they prescribe medication based on what you're dealing with. Even though the USANA products are not medication, okay, it's pure nutrition, they're made to a pharmaceutical grade so that when your doctor opens up the book, they can actually see that the USANA products are are there. So a lot of the doctors, for example, that we work with in Singapore, because USANA's been in Singapore for like 18 years, a lot of them prescribe the USANA products because they trust, because they can see it in the MIMS. And then the other thing is, a lot of people ask about side effects. Okay, if you look in the MIMS itself, you can see that the USANA products are certified, guaranteed to not have any side effects. Okay, so a lot of times people think tablet, they think medicine, and with all medicine comes side effects. And the beauty about USANA is that you get these medical grade nutritional supplements without any side effects guaranteed. Simmer, I just noticed there's some comments coming in. I can't see the comments, so if you can just let me know.
Yes, so Namita was asking, is USANA available in Europe? And Daniel just answered saying that yes, it is. Not all countries, but many, like UK, France, Holland, Germany. So,
so Dan's
I'm keeping an eye on the comments. So if anything that I feel like I need to voice, I will just bring it up.
Okay.
But yeah, I just wanted to point out as well, like one of my biggest concerns when I was looking at starting, starting with the supplements was the side effects. And it's huge for me because I was born and brought up in India, and I was not brought up with supplements. I didn't see my parents take supplements or my grandparents. And we are big believers. Anytime we would be sick, we'll get like Ayurvedic medication, stuff like that. So, going on to taking supplements was really like a little bit scary for me, just because I don't like pills. And I've always felt like, pills are bad. They give you like liver problems, kidney problems, all kinds of crazy shit. And just like looking at the MIMS really did elevate that concern for me, because one of the nutritionists actually showed me the MIMS. He had the whole book, and he was like, look, when a supplement is listed in the MIMS, they have to write if there are any side effects, because if the doctor is going to recommend this supplement, they need to know what the contraindications are. And if that contraindication is going to, have some impact on the medication that the person is taking. So when I saw that, and when I was able to understand that, and it was really, really interesting to see, like I actually looked at all the different USANA supplements, and none of them had any side effects listed. And I was like, wow, because a lot of times people would be like, when you're taking supplements, take supplements for like 2 or 3 weeks and then take a break, and with USANA, we don't have to do that. Like I've been taking USANA since 2013 until now, and I've never had to take a break, specifically just to give my body a rest. In fact, anytime I really need rest, I actually use the supplements, the nutrition to help me recover from exercising and other things like that. So yeah, that's like huge for me. That was huge. Just being able to know that there's no side effects.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And look, and USANA is not a cure for anything. Okay. I have to say that right off the bat, but I will share that, one of the things that made me so passionate about USANA is that my dad got prostate cancer about 6 years ago. And he also had high blood pressure, high cholesterol. He was pre-diabetic at the time. He had arthritis in 2 of his knees. He was 75 when he first started taking the products. And he was a chronic asthmatic for over 20 years. So he was on Ventolin, he was on inhalers, all kinds of stuff. He had to sleep literally sitting up because the sleep apnea would prevent him from being able to lie down totally. And, he has been on the products nonstop for 6 years now. And in the first 9 months, not only did he had little balls of radiation put in, okay, so but he didn't have any, chemo or anything. But not only did he heal from the prostate cancer, but touch wood, the arthritis is gone, And to this day, no more inhalers, no more Ventolin. We've gotten rid, the asthma has gone away, the arthritis has gone away. He's not on the medication for the blood pressure or cholesterol, any of that stuff anymore. Okay. So we did change his diet as well. He's done the Body Love program like 4 or 5 times. And he's lost, I think 30 pounds or something. So, you know, just approaching it holistically, but I really believe very strongly that, you know, the USANA products have had such an impact on his overall health. And now he's 80 years old and he, you know, he's outside every day pushing wheelbarrows and carrying bricks, and we're doing construction at the house at the moment. So I just see firsthand the impact of being able to close that nutrition gap and allowing your body to heal itself. So just a couple more quick things. One is we mentioned earlier that there's no regulation in the supplement industry at all, like government regulation. Even the FDA in the US, they don't regulate products. What we've done in order to sort of get around that is we actually had our manufacturing facility, it's the whole thing registered with the FDA. And the impact of that is, this is a book called the NutriSearch Comparative Guide, where they actually do, it's a third-party independent company that nutritional companies can send their products to. They test them in a laboratory. And Lyle McWilliam, who was the former Minister of Health, is really the one that spearheaded this. And they created this comparative guide where over 1,600 companies send their products in, they get tested, and then they get a rating between 1 and 5 based on the quality of the products. And there's been 6 editions, and USANA has had at least a 5-star gold rated product in all 6 of editions over the last like 15 years. So that's, you know, one of the things that you can use to see with your own eyes, okay, this is the real deal. And you can see, for example, like Amway, the Nutrilite is a 1-star, Herbalife is 1-star, Blackmore's, which is, you know, a huge brand in Asia, is a 2-star rated product. GNC 3-star, New Skin 1-star. So, you know, if you just think about hotels, right, you want to stay in a 1 or 2-star hotel, or you want to stay in a 5-star hotel, and the price is basically the same. So this is how you can get tremendous value for your money, is by actually taking medical or pharmaceutical grade product. And when it comes to the food, right, you'd have to eat approximately 22,000 calories a day and spend more than $33 US a day just to get the same amount of nutrition that you find in the daily dose of our USANA Cell Essentials, which is basically our multivitamin. So on the left-hand side there, you have the minerals. The right-hand side are your vitamins and your antioxidants. And you can see the amount of food that you'd have to eat. Right, 80 bananas, 18 oranges, 44 large eggs, 4 cups of spinach, like that, right? 9 ounces of cod, 5 chicken breasts. It's just, you know, the amount of food that you'd have to eat to get the same amount of nutrients in the Cell Essentials, which is I think it's less than $2 a day for the actual product itself, is pretty powerful. And then what we do, you know, generally is we're a personalized nutrition company. This is what makes USANA unique. We're medical grade, and then we also personalize. So we are able to we have the Cell Essentials, which is the flagship. This is the foundational product. Okay, it's like a house. You build the foundation, then you build the house on top of it. The Cell Essentials are like the foundation. And then we have things called optimizers, which are other products that you can take based on your particular nutritional needs. So everybody has different needs. And so what we can do is we can come up, you know, with a specialized nutritional program based on either what you're dealing with, right? Any condition that you might have, or anything that your body might specifically need. So that's it. This is our vision is creating healthy individuals and healthy families. And our goal is to have the healthiest family on earth. So with that, Oh yeah, this is one more thing, right? So we mentioned earlier that you are what you eat. Okay, I thought this was really powerful. Every 30 days, your cells turn over. Okay, so every 28 days, your skin will replace itself. Every 5 years, your liver will regenerate a brand new liver out of the cells that are made. Every 10 years, your bones will regenerate themselves. And so your body makes new cells from the food that you eat. Okay. So if you start now, 5 years from now, you can literally have a brand new liver. You can have cirrhosis of the liver. You can have fatty liver. You can have problems going on. And if you change your lifestyle and you take away the things that are causing the problem and you add things that can help you heal, 5 years from now, you can have a brand new liver. You can have brand new lungs, like that. Like the body has everything that it needs to heal itself, right? As an organism, we just have to make sure that we give the body the tools that it needs in the form of food to be able to do that healing. Okay, so I want to invite Mr. Yogesh to share a little bit about his health journey. It's been extraordinary to watch Yogesh as well go from where he was just a couple of months ago and to see where he's come in his time.
Nathan, can you turn off the screen share so we can see Yogesh? Okay, good.
Thank you so much, Nathan and Simmer. Hi to all the family members and friends who've come here. Before I get into my journey, I just want to tell people about a little bit about myself. I am one of the laziest people on this planet, and I procrastinate a lot. And I didn't love myself a lot because I had a very, very, very bad lifestyle, especially the last 20 years. I used to drink a lot. Alcohol, what I mean by drinking a lot. I used to eat a lot of unhealthy foods, especially the carbs that are not essential. And I was 92 kilos at one time. And that lifestyle gave me diabetes. And I've had diabetes, as far as I know, I've had diabetes for 13 years, but possibly I've had it for even longer because I used to always feel lethargic after lunch, sleepy. And at times when I used to sleep at night, I used to sweat a lot, and I didn't really know what was going on with me, but I didn't really care about my body or anything of that sort. And it was not till this year where this whole pandemic situation happened, and I've been, as many of you know, I'm a coach and a trainer, and I was really busy during the summer, and I realized that I didn't have the energy to teach the students I teach. And I was like trying to find something, to make my health better. And I'd heard from Bhamna about her keto diet, but it didn't seem like something I could handle, especially being diabetic. And I also know another diet my wife did, but I wasn't sure of it. And then we came across USANA. And I still remember when the Body Love program was introduced, and I wasn't sure whether I want to do this or not. And Nathan's words to me was, if it's not now, then when? Right? When will you start loving yourself? And I said, okay, let's just do this. And it wasn't easy for me because I am not a disciplined person. I am a person who cannot do routine. And I remember telling that to you guys, and you guys were like, it's a choice. It's your health. And we started the journey. The first week was a struggle, especially coming up with the meal plans. And, I knew I had to explain to my wife, and Bhavna kind of supported me by sending the foods I needed because I didn't know what to go about it. But here's the thing. The first week was tough, and I could tell the body was changing. There was a lot of detox going on. But going down that hill 2 weeks later, when I started to see the changes, I started to lose weight. And I remember telling you, Simmer, that I'm not getting sleep anymore. I try to go to bed by 11 o'clock and I wouldn't sleep till 1 o'clock. And that's when I realized my energy levels had gone up. That was something that's not happened in the last 20 years. And that was what made me realize, oh my God, this really works, And then I got the habit of, cooking my own food, eating the right foods, avoiding the stuff that I shouldn't be eating as a diabetic. I don't eat white rice anymore. I only eat brown rice or red rice. And you know, and all the things you suggested I should do, I've been following that in the last 90 days. And so, and I'm down 6 kilos. And that's a shocker because my weight's now 66.6 and my goal was 65 kilos this year. And I've never been that light, even when I was in my teens. Like when I was 16, probably I was like at 70 plus. So I'm pretty shocked at the amount of weight I've lost. And the shirt you're seeing I'm wearing right now, this shirt wasn't even fitting me back in July. Like, you know, my belly was popping out. And now it fits. In fact, it's a little loose right now. That's what I'm shocked of. And I don't bloat anymore. I've been bloated for like the last 20 plus years. I don't bloat. My stomach doesn't bloat anymore, you know, and I'm just really shocked and surprised that how much energy I have, how focused I am now. I used to always feel clogged. Now I don't feel like that. After eating food, I used to be like, I don't feel like working. You know, I want to take 1-2 hours off. And there were times I remember I used to fall asleep in my office. When I used to have lunch, I would just be sitting on the table, put my head down, fall asleep. So, you know, that meant my sugar went up really high. But now I don't feel any of that. And it's been such a transformation that I'm so shocked about it. I think even Bhavna shocked about it because we met for lunch like during my birthday and she was surprised I brought the pills with me. You know, she's like, you carry it wherever you go. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you know, if you're doing it, do it right. And I can't think about moving around without my supplements right now. You know, I need to have them. Like I forgot to order my digestives the other day. And I didn't realize it's going out of stock because now my whole family is also taking them, right? And just that one day, I didn't have my digestive and I felt a little bloated. And I was like, oh my God, I need to have this. Or if I even miss one of the pills I take, because I've been taking, you know, 6-7 different ones, the essentials, the one for the liver, the one for magnesium. And, you know, it's like a whole different me now. And I know for a fact, even though I've changed my lifestyle, it's not just the food, it's the supplements as well, right? Because last year I tore my meniscus tissues. And I remember I had to fly down to Hong Kong. And it's been a year since then. It was last May. And till early July, my knee still felt, you know, a little bit uneasy. But ever since I've started taking these supplements, I've noticed I've healed quite a bit. Because before I would go for morning walks and I would still feel a little bit of, you know, uneasiness in my knee. I don't feel that anymore. You know, before I used to swim, I used to feel like just in one lap, again, my knee was like, you know, giving me issue. And I don't feel that anymore. So I know I'm not just healing. My diabetes is not just down. I've completely like transformed. And, you know, I'm so glad that you know, Nathan, you said those words to me that, you know, if not now, then when? When are you going to take care of your health? There's no tomorrow. And I'm glad I did that because I've been a smoker previously, you know, and thanks to you guys, I'm transformed completely. So I owe a big thank you to you guys for this. And even to Bhamna for pushing me to get this done. Yeah, and that's all I have to share for today.
Wow. That's amazing. I have to admit, I was pretty shocked as well after, I think it was after a couple of weeks that when you were doing it, I didn't really have a whole lot of faith that you were going to do it as well, because you enrolled me in this idea about how lazy that you were. And then when I saw, then Bhavna is actually the one that shared with me, oh, by the way, you know, Yogesh is down all this weight. He's cooking vegetables in the kitchen. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. So congratulations.
Even last week, we had a family chat, my siblings and me, and you know, I was cooking while we were talking, and my elder brother was a little surprised. He was like, "You're cooking?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, you know, you gotta take care of yourself and stuff." And he was like, "It's okay, I'm taking the digestives. I'll take care of me." But you know, he was a bit surprised that I'm cooking, and even cooking is a good therapy. Like, you know, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, great. So that's basically all we have. So I think if we want to open up for any questions or anything, we can do that. And if people, you can write in the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself and share. And if people,
Nathan, you mentioned about you do intermittent fasting and don't have breakfast. Maybe you want to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm glad you reminded me about that. So so the most important meal of the day is breakfast, right? Even if you don't eat it, it's really about how you start your day, and it's about the stabilization of the blood sugar. So that's really the key takeaway. So one of the things that makes intermittent fasting so effective is actually you don't introduce any food or anything that will spike your blood sugar in the morning. So essentially what it does is it stabilizes your blood sugar. So that is the real key. The real key takeaway is that your hormonal health, so your mood, if you feel like you're a moody person, the best thing to do is eat a good breakfast, and don't get your blood sugar on that up and down roller coaster. And it will help balance your hormones as well. So the blood sugar is where all the cravings comes from. A lot of the hormonal situations come from that. So I believe in intermittent fasting. It works for me really well. It's not for everybody, but one of the key component is the stabilization of the blood sugar. So breakfast is still the most important meal of the day, because the idea is the way that you begin the day is dictates the rhythm for the rest of the day. So Leanne's got a question there.
So Leanne's asking, what breakfast ideas would you suggest? You mentioned a few earlier, like oats. Any others?
So it really depends on whether you, if you eat meat or not is one issue. If you're allowed eggs, eggs are a really phenomenal way to begin the day. Okay. So for me, like a perfect breakfast is an omelet with lots of veggies and some avocado slices on the side. And then sometimes like Simmer really likes the gluten-free bread as well. So you can still have the toast, but have it be a flour that's complex, right? Like any sort of bread that's made from, almond flour or coconut flour, or, there's so many different flours that you can even make rotis, things like that from, that make it from a simple carbohydrate into a complex. So don't think by just as an example that you have to throw out everything. Okay. That we're not telling people that you have to radically change everything in your life and you have to drop everything and like that. Okay. That's also a myth that being healthy means that you have to, your food doesn't taste good. Okay. So there's a rule of substitution instead of just getting rid of things. Okay. So there are ways that you can substitute. But for breakfast, things like full fat yogurts, okay, Greek yogurts, or like really, if you make homemade yogurts where you get the full fat, okay. Remember, fat doesn't make you fat, okay. Sugar is the problem. So don't shy away from eating full fat things. So if you're going to have yogurt, don't eat low fat yogurt, because what they do is they remove the fat and they add sugar. It's like the opposite of what you want to be doing. If you're going to have milk, have like full fat milk, like cream. I don't have mine here, but the only kind of dairy product that I take, milk products that I take, is full fat. So yogurt's is a good thing. Oatmeal is amazing in every way, right? My dad makes oatmeal like probably 2-3 times a week. So if you can't eat eggs, oatmeal is a really great way to start. Smoothies are also really great. For those of you who like smoothie types of things, you can get a really high quality protein, and then you can get lots of fruits and vegetables, blend them up, add it in there. You can put, different nut butters in there. Smoothies are amazing because there's literally an unlimited amount of recipes that you can make. Also,
they're a great way to get your greens. I mean, I'm not so big on salads because I wasn't brought up on them. So I tried eating like a whole bowl of spinach, but it really takes a lot. So I would take like a whole bowl of spinach and I'll just throw it into my smoothie and I'll make a nice smoothie. It's so good. It tastes good, especially when you add like bananas or pineapple. It gives it that sweetness. So it just sort of covers the taste of the greens to a certain degree. But at the same time you get your greens, which is just incredible. Like I find that's my favorite way of getting my greens. Also, overnight oats are great.
Yeah.
And then you eat Indian food, besan chila is one thing that you can also make. It's high in protein. We also make like protein pancakes. So you can also get like really good recipes where you can use buckwheat flour or oat flour to make pancakes. Deep and I made waffles today. Oh my God, so good. And they were with oat flour. So you can get creative. Just like think of a food that you really, really like having in the morning and think about if you could replace, say, if you like pancakes, just replace the flour that you use for pancakes. So instead of, the normal white flour, you could just change it to buckwheat flour or oat flour. And it's so good for you. You could literally take oatmeal and just put it in a blender, make a powder out of it, and just use that for your pancakes. And it's healthy. You're literally just having oats, but it's so yummy. And you've got like this really healthy breakfast, right?
Yeah, I will share. I've made the pancakes like 4 times in the last 2 weeks with that recipe that you gave me. It's basically a banana, some regular flour, and then USANA makes a fiber supplement, which is like a powder supplement. I put that in there. You can use eggs if you want, and a little bit of almond milk. And I used like a tablespoon of olive oil. And I just made the pancakes out of that, and then used like a coconut sugar, like a, what do you call, like a dressing thing? Syrup, like a coconut sugar syrup. It's like unbelievable, really. I was like, oh my God, I got pancakes back. See, all these things that you remove out, you can find ways to bring them back. Even cakes, you can make cakes. Like Bhavna's got a whole business where she makes healthy desserts, right? So you can make everything that you love in a way where you use ingredients that don't spike your blood sugar. Anything is possible once you go down this track in your life. You don't have to leave anything.
Yeah. Okay, Gina also asked, what is a good time to have breakfast if you are doing intermittent fasting?
So the way that I do is that I stop eating at 8 and I start eating at 12. So that's a 16-hour thing. If you're new in intermittent fasting, especially for the ladies, you probably want to start with like a 12 or 14, like a 12 or 14-hour window and work your way in, and then also alternate days. So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So you don't want to do intermittent fasting as a woman every day, and then start with a 12-hour window and then work your way up to 16. Once your body gets really used to it, like there are, I've done a couple of prolonged fasts this year where I do like 5 days, 7 days. So once your body gets used to it, you don't really, you can go into the longer fasts, which do deeper cleaning. But yeah, start with 12 hours. So if you finish eating at 8, you can start eating again the next day at 10. You just skip the morning. So it's more about the hours. So if you stop eating at 9, then you can start eating at 11 or 12, like that. So the reason why intermittent fasting can impact women a little bit differently is because of the thyroid and the hormonal health. Remember, our bodies are very smart, right? So our bodies are actually designed to do particular things. And with women in general, child rearing is a part of your biological makeup, which means you have different hormonal systems than guys do. That's mainly the main reason is because of the thyroid health and the different impacts on the hormones. Like your body needs food at different times as women. And if you work with us, if you work with us a little bit deeper, we can go into more depth about that. That's kind of complicated, but that's sort of the basic understanding. Guys don't have to worry about that. We can, my friend Alessandra just did 30 days of a water fast. It was like incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so important when it comes to fasting, really important to sort of alternate those days, especially when you're starting, and then just feel it out. Mostly if you're doing it alternate days, you'll feel good.
And work with someone.
Yeah, and work with someone. Don't, just like I said, don't try like diets and
Don't experiment on yourself.
Yeah, don't do that.
You're not a guinea pig.
When in doubt, go with balanced, healthy eating.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions?
I think maybe just end with explain, because we've mentioned the Body Lover program a couple of times, Simmer, but people don't know what you're talking about. So maybe you can just share with them what it is and how they can learn more about it or something. Okay.
So the Body Love program is a 4-week program that we have. And in the program, the modules are divided into mind, body, and spirit. So we've got a week that's mind, then body, then spirit. And the whole idea of this program is that you are a holistic person, okay? So if you have a weight loss goal, or if you have if you want to sort of put on more muscle mass, all of these things don't just happen with, a lot of people think that it's just calories in, calories out, that kind of thing. It's not that simple. Like a lot of times if you're someone that's a stress eater, then your issue with weight is not necessarily just calories. Obviously, if you're a stress eater, you're eating more calories, which is a problem. But if you're a stress eater, your issue is being able to handle the emotional stress, right? So if you learn how to do that in a really good, holistic way, that's gonna solve that problem. Not necessarily trying to just make yourself feel bad and beating yourself up about it. So this program is really designed to holistically educate you in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, and really teach you the principles of healthy eating, healthy living, and how to take really good care of your body. So this is not necessarily only for people that need to lose weight. We've had people do the program who wanted to put on weight. So what we really just teach you is healthy eating. We teach you the basics of nutrition. We teach you how your body, your mind, and your spiritual practices are all connected with each other, and how they impact you, and how you can maximize your health results when you really start to live a holistically healthy life. Okay, so this is like a really amazing health program. And you can learn more about it on our website. It's called glamourandpurpose.com. Deep just put it in the, in the chat box. So glamourandpurpose.com/Body Love program, or just go to glamourandpurpose.com and you will be able to, it's like right there. You'll be able to see the information about the program. You can actually go over it and see if this is something that you might wanna look at doing in the future.
Yeah, I was going to say it's definitely just a lifestyle program, because we basically just took the things that we do every day and we put it into a program. So it's definitely not for people that just need to lose weight, because we don't need to lose weight, but we live this way because it's what makes us feel good. So it's definitely more, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle.
Well, absolutely.
Okay.
If Yogesh can finish it, then anyone can finish it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Bob, do you want to sorry, Simran, did you want to say something?
No, just go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say, in order to complete, Bhavna, would you like to say anything to have us be complete?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much to Simmer and Nathan for this wonderful session. Although I have been 3 months with you guys, and twice I have taken this Body Love program. Every time there's something new to learn. Each time that I've joined, and each time that Body Love comes, I will join again. And not only that, but today itself, that you had such an interactive session with all the friends and family that I invited. I'm sure they must have got a good knowledge of this as well. And I'm sure they will put whatever they have learned into practice after this. So it was really, I would like to thank you both for bringing forward this session to us and enlightening us with more of what we need to do in our day-to-day lives to keep healthy, and especially during these times, you know. So yeah, just like to thank all of you, and thank you very much to family and friends who have joined today. Yeah. Already Sony, she's there. She has had an amazing experience as well. You know, she had pains in her fingers and she's improving. She can do 108 times Surya Namaskars, amazing. I have another friend of mine, Rekha, who's here, who has also been part of Body Love with us, and she has also felt the difference. And I have my sister-in-law, I have my cousin sisters, I have my friend, and I have my another cousin sister from Poland. Apparently, she was the one asking whether these vitamins are available in Europe. I don't know about Poland, but she's very close to Germany, so I'm sure it shouldn't be a problem. So if Didi, if you need to order anything, you can always get in touch with me, and then I can see if we can arrange something for you. For the ones in Indonesia, it's available. For the ones in Guam, Yogita Payal is from Guam. If she does need something, she has her sister-in-laws who live in US. And of course, my brother's there in Hong Kong. So postal shouldn't be an issue, you know, to Guam if you need these vitamins. I swear by these vitamins. I trust these vitamins because I'm not a vitamin person myself. I was told to take vitamin and I took Centrum, and it used to always cause me stomach issues. And I stopped it completely. But now that I take this, I feel it's like, you know, it's become like how you drink water every day. You remember it. You need to take this every day because it does protect your cellular overall function. And I have actually done so many experiments. I still need to do 1 or 2 more experiments based on this. And I will put it up on my, I'm sure all of you are following my Instagram and Facebook, because I'm someone, if I don't do the experiment myself or on me, I'm the guinea pig. I don't trust it. So trust me, guys, my experience, I love it. And I feel like as we are aging, all of us at a similar age, we need to take this. We need to protect ourselves. We need to, and then if you need to know more about it, we can have one-on-one session with Simar or with Nathan. You know what, I'm sure you would want to speak, like what your body requires and what deficiency you feel, how you feel. We can have one-on-one free session with Simar and Nathan as well. And then we can move ahead from there. You can order your vitamins and all. So yeah, that's about it. So thank you very much, Nathan and Simar, for today's talk. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's all about sharing. And thank you and Yogesh for having us. It's really inspiring to see how much you guys have taken on health, and now you're sharing with other people. So
yeah, thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone, for being here, for giving us your time. It's been amazing to have you all, and we just loved all the interaction. It's been so great. So should we take a quick picture before we say goodbye?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Cameras on. Let's see everyone's beautiful face.
There's Rekha. It's good to see you again, Rekha.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. It was wonderful to have you here. And
thank you. Thank you for arranging. Thanks, Bhavna. Thanks, Nathan. Thanks, Simar.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Good night from my side.
Good night.